Good to be with you. I'm Tony DeCopel. The breaking news right now. Bad air. Over 100 million people under air quality alerts tonight. The smoke from those Canadian wildfires invading the U.S. linked to dangerous health risks. Exposure in some spots similar to smoking half a pack of cigarettes a day. And the dangerous storms now moving in for the weekend. Also developing tonight, the Texas flood disaster. A bridge washed away, hundreds rescued. That tiny parasite causing big problems. Taco Bell calling it the #1 threat to business before the outbreak. And now thousands of people sick in dozens of states. What the lettuce supplier likely at the center of the crisis is saying tonight. Big weekend. The final game of the World Cup is set. Argentina, Spain. But will it be upended by wildfire smoke?
What am I looking at?
And meet the unusual raccoon turning heads and winning hearts tonight. What fans have named him. And Steve Hartman on the road. A giant gentleman landing his dream job. And it's not in basketball.
From CBS News headquarters in New York, this is the CBS Evening News with Tony DeCopel.
Good evening. Hundreds of wildfires still burning, many out of control north of the U.S. border. And tonight, doctors say breathing that smoky air in some of America's biggest cities is like half a pack of cigarettes a day. And you can see why. Those tiny particles in the air from the Great Lakes all the way to the Carolinas, putting millions at risk of dangerous side effects and triggering those air quality alerts in 21 states. Detroit today, the city with the worst air quality in the world, according to a scale used by the EPA. And D.C. also in the haze tonight. President Trump now blaming Canada for it all, accusing the country of willful negligence in fire prevention and saying the U.S. is being, quote, invaded by unhealthy air. We begin our coverage tonight with Tom Hansen in New York once again. Tom, what are you seeing out there? Good evening.
Hey there, Tony. Good evening to you. Well, this is the first time in about 48 hours that New York City has seen blue skies after having some of the worst air quality in the world. But that smoke is still causing dangerous conditions for roughly 100 million Americans.
From the Midwest to the Mid-Atlantic, thick smoke from wildfires burning in Canada blanketed large areas for a third day.
I would say stay inside, especially if you have asthma.
A surreal sight in Sandusky, Ohio, as people could be seen riding roller coasters as the sky turned orange at Cedar Point Amusement Park. Detroit topped the list of cities with the world's worst air quality today, while conditions in northern Michigan were so bad, day turned to night. Thick black smoke blocked out the sun.
I have noticed breathing is heavy all day.
In the nation's capital, the city monuments were barely visible. Officials there have declared a code red, the air unhealthy for everyone. While Chicago is seeing air pollution, doctors warn is exceedingly dangerous. Usher Qureshi is there.
Here in Chicago, you can barely see the skyline. It's been nearly wiped out by smoke. The hazardous air forced the closure of beaches that would normally be packed, along with outdoor swimming pools. Scientists say this is becoming a pattern, not the exception. Longer, smokier summers as the climate warms.
I mean, climate change, it's not something I don't think anybody can deny at this point.
Health experts advise people with chronic health problems to stay inside or wear a KN95 mask if going outdoors is necessary.
There's evidence suggesting that wildfire smoke is actually more harmful. I think it's also important to highlight that wildfire smoke is particularly toxic to our bodies.
And as you noted, Tony, the smoke tonight turning into a diplomatic dispute. President Trump on Truth Social wrote the United States was being invaded by filthy air from Canada and vowed to add the cost of the pollution into any tariffs. Ontario's premier, however, told Republicans to stop complaining about the smoke and send help to fight the fires. Tony.
We'll see where it goes. Tom, thank you very much. We turn to Texas now, to the Hill Country, where rivers again across the region still rising after more than 2 feet of rain. The downpours that began Monday finally winding down tonight, but the danger not over. Rescues ongoing from floods that have killed at least 2 people so far. Our Jason Allen is in Kerrville, Texas for us tonight. Jason, good evening. What can you tell us?
Good evening, Tony. So the owner of that truck on the other side of the creek, he's been searching for it since yesterday from a campground way upstream. Found it here in the last hour. The Ingram Volunteer Fire Department trying to help him get it out. This is one of those usually quiet, shallow creeks that after 4 days of intense rain turned into something people here told us they have never seen before.
The water line here is Here, everything that is here is where the water moved it.
Water had never been inside the home where Sheila Mays and her family have lived for decades.
That's trash.
Now she's clearing out soaked furniture and mud, a mess she returned to after escaping floodwaters with her husband and mother in the middle of the night.
I couldn't fathom it. I mean, this just doesn't happen.
Now you know it can do this. Does that change things for you?
I don't know. There was so much love that was put into this house, and we'll fix it.
Thank you. Yeah, you'll fix it.
And we'll just pray.
The water moved so fast, it washed away generators and trailers outside the business where Kat Stafford works and ruined everything inside.
I'm trying to draw out the main documents, papers, and stuff, financial documents.
All of this asphalt was a brand new road. It was put down just 3 weeks ago, but the creek that is a football field away was so powerful, it stripped all of it off.
More than 2 feet of rain fell across central Texas in just 72 hours. Rescues are still ongoing. Roads impassable, so the Texas National Guard has taken to the skies with airlifts and medical transports. While in Uvalde, a key bridge into town collapsed over the raging Nueces River.
Even though the worst of the rain is going to be behind us, the rivers are going to continue to rise and still pose life-threatening danger to anybody near those rivers.
As you heard the governor refer to, even though the sun is out, the rain has stopped. There is concern more communities will be threatened by floods as all of that water moves hundreds of miles, Tony, toward the Texas coast.
Jason, thank you for being out there once again tonight. In addition to the smoke and Texas floods, tens of millions in the east and the southwest are in the path of powerful storms this weekend. CBS News Boston chief meteorologist Eric Fisher tracking all of that. Eric, good evening. What's the latest?
Well, Tony, good evening to you. Of course, we've had this high impact weather, whether it's the floods, the wildfires, the smoke affecting so many people. We'll start with the smoke, which is still a problem, as we just saw some of that worse air quality on that pipeline from Western Ontario down through places like Detroit, Pittsburgh, and into Maryland. There was some rain at that wildfire source today, so hopefully that will start to tamp things down a little bit. Now, what we're going to see as a storm system develops and moves east is it's going to tug that smoke plume back up to the north a little bit this weekend, particularly tomorrow. So through places like New England, we're going to get back into that smoke plume. We're also going to see severe storms mixing in with that wildfire smoke. So something to keep an eye on Saturday, some damaging winds, tornadoes, all possible. Meanwhile, the Texas rain shifting back off toward the west. So some improvement there. As for the World Cup, big match, the climax of all of this, it looks like the smoke, a little bit of a factor, but the thickest of it should stay away for a beautiful Sunday at the Meadowlands. Tony?
Eric Fisher, thank you. To the latest now on that parasitic illness, now believed to be the largest outbreak of its kind, sickening thousands of people in nearly 36 states. Federal health officials have connected it to lettuce distributed to Taco Bell locations in 5 states, but that may be just one of multiple sources. Our Jonathan Vigliotti tonight with new statements from Taco Bell and the major produce distributor likely behind that Taco Bell lettuce.
Tonight, federal investigators are racing to trace the origins of potentially contaminated iceberg lettuce from this California distributor.
And anytime we see a spike, we're interested in where it's coming from. We want to make sure that we're able to track this and get it done.
A government official tells CBS News Taylor Farms is a likely source. The $6 billion produce giant imports iceberg lettuce grown in Mexico and distributes it from Salinas, California.
So what happens now with this investigation?
They're going to go back to the farm that may have supplied the shredded lettuce to these locations in the area that is affected by the outbreak. And then they're going to start looking to see if they can find this organism.
It's believed at least some of that lettuce carried cyclospora, a parasite that spreads through contaminated food or water. There have been more than 1,600 confirmed cases. At least another 5,000 are being investigated. Health officials have said it's possible that multiple outbreaks are ongoing in at least 34 states.
The pain, if I had to describe it, was like it felt as though I had swallowed razors and they were cutting through my gut.
Fast food giant Taco Bell was the first major break in the case after many patients reported eating there. The FDA confirmed contaminated lettuce was served at some Taco Bell locations in Indiana, Kentucky, West Virginia, Michigan, and Ohio. Taco Bell says it has voluntarily removed this ingredient from its food. In a statement, Taylor Farms said it is removing all iceberg lettuce sourced from central Mexico.
As soon as this is pulled off the shelf, we should see this outbreak start to wane.
And while the origin is unclear, the risk has been known. In a government filing before the outbreak, Taco Bell called this parasite the #1 threat to their business, Tony.
Jonathan, thank you. To President Trump's primetime address on election security and his harsh new words for China after calling President Xi a friend at a summit in May, he accused the country of, quote, sinister election meddling, including the largest compromise of election data in history. But what will he actually do about it? Here's senior White House and political correspondent Ed O'Keefe with details on the day after.
Today, the Homeland Security Secretary doubled down on President Trump's claims of election tampering, saying state and local election officials who don't cooperate could be jailed.
Once we gave them the information they need to secure their elections, and they chose not to, then those individuals can also be held accountable by fines, by penalties, and even, depending on how far it goes, prison time.
The threats came the day after President Trump leveled several exaggerated and unsubstantiated claims about elections, starting with China.
The People's Republic of China carried out what is believed to be the largest compromise of election data in history.
He claimed China acquired about 220 million U.S. voter registration files between 2020 and 2023. But most of that information is publicly available. Today, a Chinese foreign ministry spokesman said the claims have no factual ground and are aimed at defaming China. Trump also raised concerns about voting by mail, about dead people and non-citizens voting, and claimed American elections are still vulnerable to foreign interference or cheating.
The system we have today falls catastrophically short of that standard.
But the federal agency overseeing election security found no evidence of any malicious activity affecting the 2024 elections and called the 2020 election the most secure in American history. And state officials insist American elections remain secure.
What the president has been doing is fundamentally dangerous for American democracy. Make no mistake, he is in an open power grab and actively working to destabilize the 26 elections.
Other election chiefs today in California, Nevada, and Pennsylvania said they've seen no evidence of voter fraud and that they follow the law. Tony?
Ed, back to China. Given what the president said last night, has there been any change today in U.S.-China policy?
Well, for now, the White House tells us that the planned September visit of Chinese President Xi Jinping is still on, and neither the administration nor Congress today announced any formal steps to hold China accountable.
Ed, we also have some news today about the president's Truth Social platform. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, the social media platform that the president has a financial stake in says it's going to be selling investors quicker access and alerts to the president's social media posts, which in recent months especially have moved the stock markets and oil prices because of the war with Iran. It is an unprecedented but apparently not illegal way for the president to profit even more from his day job. Tony?
Selling access to the president's public utterances. Ed, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Still ahead on the broadcast, for the World Cup, will it be a smoking hot finale in the wrong sort of way? What we know about the smoke and the plans. Spain and Argentina will battle for soccer's biggest prize on Sunday, and for the first time since 1930, the World Cup trash talk will not require a translator. Both teams speak the same language. CBS News correspondent Nicole Valdez has our preview.
While a very real cloud hangs over the highly anticipated World Cup final, the thick, smoky haze sitting over New York, the forecast looks good for game time. Over 80,000 fans, including President Trump, are expected inside the stadium to see if European champion Spain and its 19-year-old star Lamine Yamal can dethrone Argentina and 39-year-old Lionel Messi, seeking to become the first back-to-back men's champions in 6 decades. It'll be Argentina's explosive offense, led by Messi, against Spain's legendary defense, which in its 7 matches has allowed just 1 goal total. And the fans are ready too, especially from Argentina. Just about everyone with a replica jersey is sporting Messi's number 10. The timeless wonder has willed his team through dramatic last-minute comebacks throughout the knockout rounds of this World Cup.
The Argentina players are playing for Messi, especially if he wins on Sunday, kind of cements his legacy with back-to-back World Cup wins.
Paul Tenorio is a senior writer for The Athletic and literally wrote the book on Messi. The star Argentine may be writing his last chapter this weekend, or perhaps not.
And especially considering that Argentina will host a World Cup game in 2030, I don't want to say absolutely not, but it feels like this is a moment where Messi has a chance to walk out, at least from the international stage, on top.
And Messi, of course, won't be the only star at the final, as the World Cup's first halftime concert will feature headliners including Madonna, Shakira, and Justin Bieber in an 11-minute performance, which could actually extend halftime to almost 30 minutes, forcing players to adjust their routine. Tony.
Nicole, after a month of coverage, one more weekend left. Do you end this liking soccer more or less?
How do you not like it more when you've seen how exciting each of these matches have been, the passion in these players and the fans? It's electric. It's been an honor to be a part of.
I totally agree. And you've been great. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Tony.
All right, still ahead on the broadcast. What is this? It has a name. It's gone viral. We're back with something making the rounds among fans of all things weird and creepy. This unusual raccoon, possibly with a condition known as short spine syndrome. He's been spotted in Seattle, embraced by Bigfoot lovers, and nicknamed Jimothy by someone who explained, quote, he just looks like a Jimothy. I agree. Still ahead on the road, Steve Hartman meets a man who was destined to be a basketball player, or so everyone thought.
Exam and failed by just 1 point. Fortunately, Shaquille O'Neal saw our story, flew to see him, and offered to pay Jordan's expenses for a few months so he could fully focus on retaking the exam.
I'm gonna be on you, brother. Make sure you get it done. Yes, sir.
It helped. Jordan passed, and just last week
Here we go.
was sworn in,
Hi, Jordan Wilmore.
much to the delight of his new boss.
Thank you, Steve. That's another day in America and another week. I'm Tony DeCopel. For all of us here at CBS News, thank you for watching. Good night and have a great weekend.